Yes. I'm just looking at my camera. It is working properly. Right at this very moment, it is working properly. We will see what will happen with the Morning Gardener show today. Yesterday, we had all kinds of issues with the camera going down in mid broadcast. It was going down. And now we're going to see why. Was it just the camera or something else in play? Let's see something here. I want to get the shot I used to have back in the day. Oh yeah, I think that's better. My head's much smaller now. We're talking soil, and the reason why we're talking soil today is because soil is so essential to your garden. I love it. I used to, many years ago, garden the way most people did, and that being, I would simply uh, pay attention to just the plant. My whole focus was growing the plant. Now I know better, many years later, that the most essential thing you can do is grow soil. Soil is the whole reason why you're gardening. And that's how your thinking has to change in order to be extremely successful at gardening. Gardening is not just a hobby nowadays, it is an essential part of life. Uh, uh, Enjoying your life and your one of your routines dealing with your existence. Gardening is so important now. It has began to take on a completely new role. Food is getting very scarce. The numbers of people have increased on this planet, and we are simply people who cannot take it lightly to just say, we'll go to the big box store and get some corn and we'll get some strawberries. When in fact, they have shown us numerous times that they cannot protect the food supply. And when people die and people get sick due to food that is contaminated, talking about safeguards that actually work, and can we actually safeguard our food supplies from disease and sickness? If the answer is no, then we need to absolutely start concentrating on growing as much food on our own as possible. This is very important. This is absolutely something that has to be done. Food is something that we need, we must have, and we must make absolutely certain that our food supply is safe. Now, if we could grow food as much as we can during mostly the spring and summer months and into the winter, if you have that knowledge to do that. So, that being said, we need to do that. And I thought of a number of ways to do it. One is to take care of the soil. One is to find ways and methods that will work for your particular situation. Some people grow in containers, some people grow in ground, some people grow aquaponic, and some people grow indoors. And we need to continue to find better methods that work for our particular situation. The weather here will change dramatically in another 2 months. We'll be absolutely into the spring. I suggested to people months ago to start uh, having a situation where you could start your items growing now. So that being said, let's look into it. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Now, soil. Don't work your soil while it's wet. Right now it's wet. In fact, it is raining at this very moment here in Zone 7B, Maryland. So that being said, uh, don't work your soil while it's wet. Never ever touch your soil while it's wet. When you walk on that soil, especially if you have clay soil, you compact it like cement bricks, or should I say clay bricks. So when you compact the soil like that, nothing really can get through there other than weeds. They can definitely drill right through that. They've been specially adapted to grow in your soil situation. But when you put plants in that are man-made, which are the ones you buy in packs, those seeds been altered through hundreds of years, some to be what they are today. Now the other thing is that those seeds, even if you get them as seedlings, are the same seeds that you're buying in the stores. They're not as strong and durable as weeds, as we all know. Weeds will grow anywhere and they will survive under almost any conditions. So when you grow weeds, you got to study them sometime and understand that they are strong as can be. So I use those weeds to improve my soil. Yes, I use those weeds to improve my soil. That's exactly what I said. I use them as chop and drop. Yes, I use their essence, their energy, their makeup, if you will, to supply food for my plants that I grow. And they quite enjoy it. All you have to do, you know, cut down some weeds, uh, mulch around it with the weeds around your plants, and as they decay and as the biology pick up the food supply there, you will see your plants growing as never before, ingesting, if you will, the nutrients from the weed plants. Oh, could that be for me? So I'm still doing what I'm doing and making it work. I still do what I do. I always use those weeds. And one I discovered that when I was creating all of this mass, I said, what am I going to do with all these weeds that I am cutting up in my lawnmower, that I am pulling from the ground? What am I going to do about it? Am I going to stick them in a trash bag and try my best to send it off to they call it the landfill? Is that what I'm going to do? No, it's not what I'm going to do. So what I simply do now is that when I remove weeds, pull it from the ground, or I do chop and drop, whatever it is I do, those weeds become part of my food supply. I like that. I like taking weeds and making them part of my food supply by simply feeding them either in a liquid form or a solid form to my plants that I am growing to eat from. I like that. I definitely like that. And it makes me feel so good. You can see the smile on my face when I think about weeds being used as a positive thing in the garden. And most people are terrified of weeds. Oh my God, they're going to take over my plants. They're going to kill my plants. Yes, they will kill plants if you do not use them as a food supply. Tear them from around your plants, back them off at least 15 inches, back them off. Go out there and weed every so often, but back them off from your plant root area at least 15 inches. And you could actually, and the fun part about it is to tear them off, break them up, put them right back around your plants as what? A weed preventer. Oh my God. Put them right back around your plants as a weed preventer. Oh, that feels good. And then they'll prevent the weeds from growing around your plants in the first place. You're using their cousins and their family members as a weed preventer. It's got to feel good. And on top of that, they are feeding your plants. It's like they showed up to add to your garden Oh, wow. You got to understand why I'm in such good spirits. How you doing today, first of all? I am in good spirits because when I think about my soil, when I got up this morning, my soil, it feels so good. Soil. My soil is much better than it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, it was this brown mass of sticky mess, if you will. And then as the sun would bake it, it would turn into a hard, crusty soil. All because I kept doing this one religious thing to my soil. I said, I don't understand the FFP. I don't know what that means. Sorry, I'm just not all that computer savvy. But morning, morning. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's me. That's me. I wake up. I'm at work. And when people see me go, what? It's because I'm thinking about soil. Okay, what were you saying, supervisor? What were you saying? Okay, you want me to? Okay, got it. Because I think about soil, and the thing about it is I used to watch those videos where they showed these professional gardeners on these garden shows, and they showed this beautiful, perfect black soil, and they showed it, and they would take the trowel and they would just dig in the soil. It would just be so light and fluffy, and I would look at that and say, "Wow." And I would think that I had to go out and have someone truck in hundreds and hundreds of pounds of black soil. Now, had I done that, I still today think that would have been one of the worst mistakes I could have made at gardening. And to find out later that there were companies around that would uh, you a bunch of junk soil because you didn't know, and you would make little moves that they would know that you didn't know what you were doing. And they would get paid for it, and they would go back off to their land of ripping people off. And you would not understand how this happened until you did a lot more research. And you would understand what just happened, what just occurred. You cannot have great soil unless you dump in tons of organic matter. There is no other way around this. There's no magic bullet, if you will. There's nothing on the store shelves that will make this happen. What you can do to your soil, you have to use organic matter. On the store shelves is organic matter from other people's gardens and other people's endeavors dealing with whether it be cow manure, that's just simply organic matter being moved around. Um, Whether it's human waste, that's organic matter again being moved around. However you look at it, it's organic matter being moved around. A lot of what you need is right there on your own soil. Some people use different things. They like certain traits from seaweed. They like certain traits from certain plants. Some people actually what they do is they call it let me get it right now, cover crops. So they have farmers that mix up different seeds so they can put it down and get a certain balance of nutrients from certain plants. Um, about that is it sustainable? Um, I see farmers grow a crop and they will pick what they need, and then they will take the residue and leave it there in the fields. I think that's okay, but they're going to get a certain balance from that. Um, but growing the same exact crops day in and day out on that ground, can that be a good thing? Can that be a good thing? The exact same every year you grow corn. Every year you grow corn. can you sustain that? I like to move my things around. It's just something I like to do. I like to grow different things in different areas because that's something I like to do. Because I think that if corn craves a certain nutrient from the soil in that particular location, I like to give it a chance to build up in that location. So I plant something else different. And that's just something I do. I move things around. I do not try to grow something like tomatoes in that exact same spot for 5 years. I just don't see that as being beneficial to my soil. So I move things around. Same yard, I just move things around. Um, right now on my property, I'm still growing tree kale. I said I wanted to test something out, see how durable this tree kale is from seeds. Excuse me, from uh, how durable it is to cold, and it's still surviving. Tree kale is something that is going to be a big part of my garden. I can see that already. I purchased the seeds on eBay, which I'm not a big component of that. Excuse me, because you don't know what you're getting. I think you're asking me. Let's see. The weather is. Let's see. Right now, I was out yesterday. It was fairly warm. I think it was. It's 52 degrees right now, and it's raining. It's raining. So 52 degrees is a good temperature. It means that the temperatures are getting warmer, and we don't know why because we are in winter. My trees need to get a certain amount of coal in order to produce this year. Luckily enough, when I purchased my trees, I was in the mindset to get ones that don't need a lot of coal, but enough coal to survive fairly well in this particular zone. But my zone is zone 7B, and everything in my zone is is pretty durable to the cold weather. You talk, sir, a great deal about wood ash, and I remember, and now don't think bad of this, but I threw away a 40-pound bag of wood ash last year. Uh, I threw it away. I remember throwing it away, and I remember thinking, "Is this right? Is this right?" And I threw it away, but it was completely full. The bag was full. Um, I got it from 2 years of burning uh, wood pellets, and I had all this. And actually, the bag might have weighed more than 40 pounds. Come to think of it, because it was in a 40-pound bag, but it filled the 40-pound bag all the way up, and it was one thing I like about ashes from the pellet stove is it burns it all the way down to dust, and that's what I like about it. The consistency of dust, I'll say. Um, so that I will not do again. I will not do that again. I will sprinkle it throughout the garden, especially around the fruit trees, and I'll keep it away from one plant that's the blueberry plant. Um, I'll just keep it away from that particular plant. Um, because they're growing so well. I just don't want to change anything with the pH right now because I've done a lot of things to that soil and got it where I want it. Now I will add the um, the uh, the coffee grounds. I will add those. I just love the fact that you gave me some really good information on the coffee grounds. They were that they are mandated to try to give that out to farmers and gardeners that come by because it is a valuable resource instead of filling up the landfill with this valuable nutrients for your garden. Why not just give it away? Just hand it out the door, give it away. And I'm going to try Starbucks again because that was one of the places that told me no, sir, we don't. This we just don't. Yeah, yeah. I know you're right. You're right. The thing I'm getting is you said something and it really threw me. They submitted a bill where they want to cut down some of the trees in California, is it, to avoid the fires that they've been having, something to that effect, to be able to clear areas. And of course, this will disrupt a lot of wildlife in those areas. A lot of wildlife. Hmm. Just thinking about that, cutting down trees, so their waste survive. We survive off of just their waste. Yes, yes, absolutely. They don't know any better, but they're cutting down these trees. And I know when they go up in there with that big equipment, they're gonna just tear up everything, ripping through. I mean, massive areas, running animals out into people's areas where they live and where they the roads they drive down through. The animals are going to be looking for where's home, and it's going to be gone because these trees were once their homes, and they're going to rip through there. And somebody sitting in an office made the decision and does not have a clue, have not talked to any farmers, have not talked to any gardeners, have not talked to any people who care that land in those areas, have not talked to them and said, look, what would be the result if we did this? And can we do something that would work without disrupting these animals and disrupting the life in this area? Period. Should we? Because what comes next is massive highways through areas that were closed off for thousands of years. And stores and houses and you know how it works. Say one thing, get another result because you're not looking down the road at what people have been guilty of doing for hundreds of years, which is more important to me. So I'll tear up your homes because you're an animal and you don't know what to do with it. So therefore, we have the right of way. You can't just do that because you're going to one day poison yourself by tearing up your own home where you live. Trees are absolutely essential to your own survival. That makes me sad thinking about that. Now, I think what you're saying here is that the wood ash, plants such as grapevines love that wood ash, and also kiwi vines, honeysuckle, and I should have my glasses on really, but I'm enjoying today seeing without them. Let's see, passion fruit. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm with you now. I'm with you. And the only thing I don't see in this list is fruit trees. I think you mean well those as well. They love wait a minute, they love the chemical makeup of wood ash. Interesting. That is interesting. Thank you for that information. And the thing about it is, wood ash. It's amazing. I've been burning it now for 4 years. Burning wood ash, 4 years. Excuse me. And the price is keeps going up, 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 up on the pellets. And I'm wondering why is it? I said it's a waste product, isn't it? It's just it's what we call a waste product. Okay, thank you. Something to think about. I'm drifting off again, thinking about soil because I know that soil is extremely important. Adding as much organic matter as possible. Now, let me ask you this question. You say you have large amounts of fruit, and that is absolutely wonderful. That's a great thing to have. Um, are you growing anything such as peaches or apples or plums, for instance? I'm going to tell you something that I did with my trees when I put them in. My trees, yes, all fruits. Oh, okay, all fruits. Have you ever had a point where your fruit trees were not producing as you know they could? Have you ever had a situation like that? Because I have a neighbor that she does nothing to her trees and she has lots of fruit. Now, if your trees are they fed every single year, or do you allow them just to survive on their own? Because um, I use the wood around the base of the around the root zone of my trees. I use that. I know that it has a positive effect. Okay, now I like that, but I prune. Yeah, the chopping job is amazing, amazing. The I do cut my trees back when they get 17 feet tall, 17, 20 feet tall. I cut them back down to 6 feet. I do, in fact, do that. And I've done that because I have this thing where I don't ever want my trees to grow anywhere out of my reach. That's just something I've always done. And I have another thing where I'm growing my trees. They are very close. They're almost in the same hole. Um, they are 21 inches apart. I actually measured them when I put them in, 21 inches apart. Okay, okay, okay. Um, the the apple trees that I have, some of them are tip bearing type of trees where they, uh, of course, they bear their fruit on the tip ends of their branches, and the the tree tend to still be doing well. Okay, got you, got you. I'm with you now. I'm with you 100%. Something else I want to throw at you. Have you ever seen a pear tree that produces thorns? Anyone at all? A pear tree that produces thorns as well. I got one from a nursery that no longer exists under that name, and they sent me some free fruit trees. Oh, okay, okay. Simple word, just yes. And when it got old enough, got about 2, 3 years old, I couldn't help but notice the long thorns it had. Okay, okay, the rootstock will do this. Because it was, yeah, okay, got you, got you. That tree is, in fact, you nailed it right on the head. It is a standard tree. It's not a dwarf type of two trees put together. It is a standard tree. And what my hope for here is to keep that tree at 6 feet tall. Uh, Proof is in the pudding. Will I be able to keep up with it and keep it cut like that? Now, in some cultures, okay, gotcha. I mean, it survived. It survived the trip here. It was those trees were almost dead when they came here. They were dried up. They were. This tree had one single root to it, and I put it in the ground anyway. It had one single root. All the other roots had dried and broken off, and I stuck it in the ground. And when spring came, I saw this tree that I did give up on. I saw it leafing out, but the condition it was in when it came here, I said, why waste the time putting it in the ground? And I said, well, you have an extra spot over there, stick it in the ground. I stuck it in and it leafed out. Now it is just as big as the other trees that came here in a lot better condition. Nature is resilient. In some parts of the world, they are regrowing their forest. They found that they couldn't live without them. They're regrowing it. Okay, thank you. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. And my understanding is when you first purchased your property, what was the soil like there? Oh, okay. It was clay. Interesting, because I've seen all the beautiful plants that you be bringing in and showing on the camera, and that gives everyone out there. This video will be seen again by many people that didn't see the live broadcast, but they will look at these videos and they will get this information here that it was a clay, it was a lawn, okay, and I've seen some of the lawns that people have, and it is a situation where the soil is pretty much dead, and they take revitalize the soil. I'll give you a good example. In my neighborhood, they tore down a house that was there for 118 years, removed the as much of debris as they could. It looked like they put grass over it, leveled it, whatever, leveled it, put grass over it, put the hay down around it. And when I drive by and I look at that property, I see all this grass growing. And I'm thinking this ground has been covered for 118 years away from the sun. And yet, in a matter of weeks, still, it's acting as though it never had a covering on it. Thank you for the thumbs up. And now it's doing quite well. Okay, okay. Soil is incredible. It is absolutely incredible. Removing trees, chop and drop, the little small weed-like trees, removing weeds, removing grass, using the grass as fertilizer, using the weeds as fertilizer, creating liquid fertilizers with these same materials, minus the small trees or the branches off the trees, but to cut these up and to put these down. Yes, to put these down and allow your soil to build itself. Every year, your soil should get better based on your effort that you put in. Your soil should get better. And that means putting down these organic materials. Load the soil up with organic materials. Load it up with organic materials. What are your thoughts on that, Mr. Food Forest Permaculture? Loading your soil with organic matter, just ample amount of organic matter. Aggressive mulching is the best. Shed some light on that, would you, sir? There's some people out there that might not get the whole grasp of that. I think, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. You put down these materials and the soil will respond. And oh yeah, and also it saves a little bit money on fishing worms when you go fishing. I also use those. It's a benefit. I use those. Some of the biggest night crawlers you ever want to see. Only problem they present is they don't really fit on a number 2 fish hook. They're just too big. But I use them, instead of going to certain stores and paying $3 for 12 worms, $4 for 12 worms. You can get them absolutely free. I see. I bought. Now, this gentleman, this gardener here, Randy, how you doing? Uh, started to buy a chipper. I started to buy a chipper and chip up everything. And I said, wait a minute, wait a minute. I said, what am I in a hurry for? I put down logs that were big around as my arm in certain areas of my yard. And in the next year, they were pretty much gone. They were pretty much gone. I created a border around my garden with logs. Logs. You can't find them now. They went into the soil. Um, and I knew that if I put logs around my trees, I can go out there now and my trees that I put these logs around, that I cut up into 12-inch pieces, are gone. They're gone. The ground looks beautiful, black soil, and the logs are gone. So I said, absolutely gone. And the trees benefited from these logs. And so dead logs, logs that were once full of life, green with leaves on everything, cut up into 12-inch pieces with a chainsaw and put around the trees. And I didn't have to feed that tree for a whole year. And it definitely gave the nutrients to the tree that I needed to grow, which is the fruit tree. I like that. Now, Mr. Food Forest Permaculture just said it best. I don't think it could be said better. They will break down anything that is that once it will break it down and it will go into the soil. Couldn't have said it better because their whole function is to survive, and they will eat whatever was once alive. They will eat it and put it into the soil. Interesting. Interesting. And I was doing it and loving it, and people were saying, you cut down these trees. What'd you do with all the logs and stuff? I said, all I did was lay them on the ground and they're gone. I laid them on the ground and they are now gone. I love this. This is what this whole thing about sharing information on YouTube was all about, is putting people together and learning this. And there are other people who are ticked off. And they're saying people like Mr. Permaculture, Food Forest Permaculture, and so many others, they're quite a threat because they're showing people how to grow this food. They're showing people how to grow this food, and they don't want that. They want you attached to the kit of that box store buying your food. Whatever health is left in that food. They want you buying that. I have put out shows on here that had people going, what? I didn't know you could. Oh my God, thank you. And it was like a bulb being cut on effect. And I appreciate that. I love doing that. I love sharing that information. I put it out there because I want people to learn that, hey, listen, once you start growing this food and you get addicted to it, tomatoes that taste great, grapes growing on your property, beautiful arbors of grapes, if you like the decorative look. Me, I put it in the ground. That's just the difference. And having your trees grow beautifully dark green leaves, and when you look at the tree and you see all those yellow and red pieces of fruit, peaches, and you look at them, and you know you made a smart move. Because when you eat those peaches, you cannot tell me that you've eaten any produce from the grocery stores that compete with that flavor. You can't. It just feels good. I love it. I love this. I mean, it's just a wonderful thing. Now, I gotta say this. I asked um, to give out information primarily when people are talking about gardening, and I'm trying to get people to talk more about soil, about what are they doing to produce this food. What are you doing to your soil? And last night we had a bit of a problem with the connection, but we did have people on there that were talking about soil because when it all gets down to a nutshell, it is the most important thing we can talk about. Is soil, improving, uh, bringing soil back to life. And when I say that, I mean adding more life to the soil. Soil is so crucial, important. You won't grow anything without it. And if I see people in the stores, and I got to get out of this habit of wanting to go over people and say, "Why are you buying a bag of soil?" And she said, "Well, I'm just doing a couple of plants." And I said, "Miss, how long you been doing plants? How many plants are you doing?" She said, "I'm doing grapevines. No, excuse me, I'm doing rose bushes and things like that." You can make these potting soil yourself without buying it. I said, "You can make it. Starter soil, plants. You want to start plants? You can make the soil. You can put it together in a fashion that will be more suitable for this plant's roots, and also this plant's balance what it needs. You can put this together yourself, and you'll save money because money is very important. If you could grow 40 tomatoes and it costs you 10 cents to grow them, it'll cost you 0 cents to grow them. If you could grow a tree filled with apples and it costs you 0 cents to grow that year, think of how much money you're saving, how much money you have added to your budget. You've actually given yourself a raise. When you can keep that money in your pocket, you've increased your income and you're eating better and your family is eating better and your family is learning how to do this because they're watching you. So someday when your son goes off, your daughter goes off, and they look for a property, and they're going to look for a property with a backyard. They're going to look for a property with some space that they can set either pots out and grow, or they can set grow in ground and pots or whatever. They're going to be better off. Of course, by that time, the government will find ways of tracking you and making you pay taxes for growing stuff. And so, that being said, hopefully that doesn't happen here. Morning, morning. Oh my God, this gentleman's in the room. I have seen him, the Alabama gardener. What was I'm saying it right? The old Alabama gardener. He put the old on the front, but I think he's just young in spirit. He just be out there showing people how to do it. And I've just finished watching one of his videos this morning, and he's another one of the great gardeners like we have in the room. We have a bunch of great gardeners in the room. We have a whole ton of great gardeners in this room, and we have them in here. But I watch his videos because he actually shows you a lot of information. Um, he mentions a lot of information that he does with the soil, and I actually tune in and I watch it because he seems like he's just into this. He's just into this where he's addicted to it, and I like that. You got another one, a food forest gentleman. I mean, I watch his show. He's addicted to it. I just love to see him in there. He gets all happy when he's talking about it. And I just look at him. I said, oh man, he get me excited about gardening. I want to get into this. I want to go. I want to get this. But I'm already started. I got some items over there growing now. Wait a minute. I think I'll bring those into the shop. Just hold on. Okay, I did one of Food Forest's numbers. Food Forest permaculture. I did one of his numbers. I walked away from the camera because I never did that before. All right, here's what we got here. I saw these out in my yard. They were in the containers. I didn't use them this year, and they're just some pepper plants. It was 26 degrees last night, and these are growing just beautifully. Look at the color of the leaves. It's dark green. I brought them inside to overwinter them, and that's what I wanted to do. Now, next year, I will bring many more in here. It will be up to 20 or 30 plants. Probably most likely will be brought in here to overwinter because when you get them really big and get them really burly, I mean, you can really save time when you put them back out the following year, and you have mature plants. All they got to do is warm up and just start growing. Let's see, garden city. Good morning. Good morning to everyone. Good morning to everyone that's in here. Now, this here it was bought at the grocery store. I always show these because they keep growing and I keep eating off of them. These are, and all I did was uh, put them in a shallow dish with some water in it. They rooted out in about 2 to 3 days. Once they rooted out, then I simply just stuck them in this rich soil here, which this rich soil is basically cow manure. I don't tell everybody that cow manure. But I take the cow manure, I put them in there, and every week I have to give them a haircut because they keep growing. I, yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Let's see. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I just love this. I love this. People communicating back and forth, getting that information flow. But I use them in soups. I use them in stir fries, and I think I paid 79 cents for that garlic. It's a grocery store I went to that doesn't sell really big pieces of garlic, so I bought them and I proved something that I wanted to prove to myself was that I wanted to know was this garlic treated so that it wouldn't grow, and it wasn't, so it does grow. But I still keep seeing these sweet potatoes in these markets. Now, have anyone heard of any sweet potatoes that are treated so that they don't grow eyes, so that you can't use those as seed potatoes? Have you heard any information about that? Anyone at all? Through your years of gardening experience, they could treat uh, potatoes such as sweet potatoes so that they don't grow. Hmm. Now, let's see, Mr. Food Forest. Okay, okay, I got you now. Mr. Food Forest, you're also saying that those particular type of potatoes don't eat them. I have never purchased any of them, but I was just wondering, because I see absolutely no trace of eyes on them, but they're there, just a dot. Um, and also, Mr. Alabama Gardener. Let's see. You're basically saying that those are GMOs, and that is also something that you don't want to be eating on. Okay, thank you both for that information. The temple is put on spots, so root does not grow. Okay, got you. Thank you both. Thank you. I misunderstood at first. I thought there was something wrong with my garlic chives, but no, we're talking about the GMO products that are in the grocery stores, and some of those happen to be the sweet potatoes, and that's not a good thing. Now, I'm always surprised when I go in the stores. There is no information whatsoever of where or these pieces of fruit and vegetables are coming from. There's no information of how they were grown. Nothing. There's nothing there. Nothing to tell you anything about this where it's coming from. Yeah. Okay, got you. Got you. Thank you very much, Mr. Alabama Gardener, and all Mr. Food Forest. I got to tell you. I got to tell you, this is definitely an honor. Ah, and let's see, we got Garden City. We got Garden City up here, Food Forest. I watch a number of your videos. I watch a number of your videos. Absolutely crazy. All the things that are growing. And what I really like is when they take their time and they explain the process. This, they'll say, I started out with crappy soil. And over the last 4 years, over the last 10 years, over the last 30 years, I've been doing this, this, and this. And here are the results. And I'm hearing more videos nowadays about gardeners using rabbit poop. And that's what I'm hearing, a lot of that. There's one gentleman, I cannot call his name. He was one of the first video people that talked a lot about rabbit poop. He seemed like he was Italian, and he talked a lot about rabbit poop, and he had these big, beautiful plants. Yeah, rabbit poop is awesome. Now, the only reason why I do not do the rabbit thing is when they start producing. What do you do with all those extra rabbits? What do you do with the extra rabbits? Garden City, Food Forest. I think I just like when you show the big, beautiful vegetables and all this. It's incredible. Okay, we'll do. We'll do. I will Google that. Look it up. Because the only potatoes that I've been using rabbit food is just to try micro. Yeah. Now, what do you do with all the extra rabbits? What? Eat the extra rabbits? My lady always said that about me. She said, "Why are you so hung up on not?" She said, "You do know where food comes from, don't you?" And because I just can't kill them. Those big eyes. I just can't do it. I watched a device once where a gentleman was raising rabbits and he was using the furs and the meats. And I don't know if he gardened with them or anything like that, but he had all these rabbits. He had all these rabbits. And he did this where the wood was 8 inches, I think it was 8 inches or 10 inches, and he cut a V in the center of it. And he would slide the rabbit down through the V and yank. And that, he said, was more humane way of doing the extra processing of the rabbit. I clean it up a bit, processing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Rabbits got a heck of a life. They eat all this green stuff and they're in a cage and they're walking around and you even get to play with them and you get to name them. And then one day you look at them and you say, she is just the right size. Plus, this is a third or fourth litter. Yep. Tomorrow, Sunday, we're having rabbits and macaroni and cheese and some spinach. Now, chickens was another one that I thought about. Rabbit meat is better than chicken. Yeah, just rabbit meat is better than chicken. I've eaten rabbit meat. I've eaten chicken, but I just can't kill them. Wait, wait a minute. If you got hungry enough, you would kill it. You will find out where you stand, what side of the line you stand on if you got hungry enough. Yeah, rabbit is great. Rabbit is great. Yep. Now there was a gentleman, Mr. Bull, that is gardener, and he grows rabbits, and they grow food for the rabbits. I thought that was an interesting video they put out. They grow rabbit food. Um, very interesting. Okay, yeah, yeah, they're very easy to keep in an urban setting, absolutely, and they're not noisy. They just basically scratch around and do what they got to do. And if you put them in a cage that's tight enough, none of the cats in the area can get in there and do anything to them. Yes, clean rabbits is better than clean. Absolutely, clean rabbits is easier than cleaning chickens because he had a some kind of when he had the back legs, he just cut. He just took the fur off or the hide off, and he salted them down and all that sort of thing. And he said he's gonna use those to make certain garments with. Uh, oh yeah, yep. Drain the blood. Yep, drain the blood, and even that can be processed and made into something. Yeah, absolutely. Rabbits. I remember when they were $5 a piece. What does a rabbit go for nowadays? What does the cost of a rabbit go for nowadays? Now, not the fancy rabbits, just the regular white rabbit with the pink eyes. Because they got the big rabbits that get like, what, 35 pounds. Got you. Oh, okay, okay. That makes sense. $30. $30. Wow. I remember they were like $5 and $6 a piece. Oh, I forgot. People are using them for food now. They're not pets anymore. They're buying a male and a female, and they're breeding rabbits. So the industry catch on to that. They start upping the prices. 'Cause they're not gonna have you eating meat for free. They're not gonna have you buying a $5, $6 rabbit, you $12, $13. A year from now, you got hundreds of dollars worth of meat. No, they're not gonna do that. No, they're gonna get their cut up front. Garden City Food Forest. Gotta go check out those videos from Food Forest. They really are good. Get a chance. I went and looked at some of your videos as well, Mr. Food Forest. I love your garden shots as well. I like that. And good information. And Alabama gardener, he don't be messing around. He show you that soil. He show you the soil, and that's what makes me watch him. I see the soil, and that gives me something to hold on to definitely until the spring and summer gets here. I see that soil. Okay, you have seen some for $15 and $20 already. Uh, I don't. The only thing, like I said, the only thing. Okay, I don't have a cage. I could build big cages. I have tons of cats in my area. I have raccoons in my area, and but that wouldn't hurt them in the cage. The rabbits would get tired of them banging on the cages to get in there to them. And the great thing about rabbits, I would imagine that there's so much in your yard that you could feed them, especially during the spring and summer months. You could feed them. Now, one important thing to give them is the leaves from blackberry plants. In case your rabbit ever gets diarrhea, give them the leaves to your blackberry plant, and that will help resolve that issue. Oh, it's unlisted. Okay, okay. Wow. These people are surviving, folks. These people are not playing around. They're growing meat. They're growing uh, they're growing vegetables and fruits. They are not playing around. The the place where they live, they are not going to allow them to dictate what they can eat and what they cannot eat, and how much they're going to pay for it. Because you cannot sell much fruit at all, if any, to Alabama gardeners, and you can't sell any to food forest permaculture. You're not selling any fruits to them. You got city gardeners that's growing a ton of vegetables and that sort of thing, all through a number of months, and you're just not going to sell them food. If you had a grocery store, you had produce sitting there, it would keep sitting there because they're not buying that stuff. They're growing it fresh, five, 2, 3 minute click off the vine or click off the plant, brought right in the house, prepared. You're not going to sell them your produce. Oh, okay. This is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. You got okay. Okay, they like medication to the rabbits. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I love this. And folks, you have to excuse me. I love this. These people are artists in their own time. I mean, they know how to pay attention to what plants need. They know how to pay attention to nature itself and learn how to do this. I love this. This is really great. Now, are you any of you any of you planning on adding anything new to your growing situation this year coming up? 2019. Are you planning on planting anything new? Something you haven't planted before on that particular ground? Okay, interesting plantains. This was plantains kill okay, bacteria. Okay. Yes, I am adding sea kale. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, sea kale. Sea kale. You got this. You got to put that up. Sea kale. You got to put that up because anytime people are adding kale to their property, that's just a beautiful thing. It is so healthy for you to grow kale. It is kale. It should be a big part of your garden. Just my thinking on that. Kale should be a big part of your garden. You can make everything from them. I'm pretty sure that smoothies and that sort of thing that are being made. Let's see. Let's see. 19, I am thinking about planting soybeans. Okay, soybeans. Wow, that's interesting. Soybeans. You plan on adding soybeans? Ah, sea kale, yes. Sea kale, yes. So, Mr. Food Farms, you're thinking of adding sea kale as well? Okay, okay. Make a tea from it and drink it. Okay. And yes, now we have people on here that are talking about growing something called sea kale. Sea kale, and the reason why these people are growing this is they know something. Oh, okay. I love this. This is great. Um, I am running out of time. I can see it. I am running out of time. Um, wow, this has just been absolutely incredible. Um, now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in the future, because I need to get the word out about a lot of you great gardeners. And I want to mention you in these upcoming videos that I do. I want to mention these names that I see here and let people know that you're out there. And if you happen to think of it and you mention mine, some of you've already have, I appreciate it, no problem at all. I want to get the word out that there is a place to come to where you can get online with some of the best gardeners and farmers in the business and get that information out about how to grow things and how to do well with your garden because you don't have to spend, and like I said before, this is me talking, you don't have to spend a ton of money on your garden. You don't have to do that. Stop spending up your savings on your garden. Don't do that. Absolutely. Don't have the channel, but need help. I do not have the channel. You don't have a channel? Okay. Oh my God, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I look, thank you. You know, I enjoy your live stream. I enjoy your garden. You got the Alabama garden. You got city. You got Garden City. Cities out there doing their thing, and every one of us have different flavors of how we communicate to our audience and people that want to learn. The most important thing you're going to get from me on this channel is about your soil and saving costs. I have found ways throughout to save costs on gardening because I don't believe in spending a lot of money on gardening. I believe in putting content into your gardening and so that you grow beautiful plants and you grow plants that are very healthy for you and very nutrient dense. And you already have a lot of that already on your land. You just might not see it as the way another person might see it. And so, like you got the Alabama garden, he sees things a certain way through his life experience with dealing with gardens and the way he's learned from people around him and the influence that he's had in his life. And then you got also Food Forest. He's learned a great deal of things through people and studies and information that he's come in contact with. So you take all of that and put it together, you can create an army of great gardeners. Oh my goodness. Let me stop before I get something started here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. This has been the Morning Gardener. Thank you very much. Thank you.